Hello, this is Cuckoo. In this little mini-series, I'm going through the whole process of creating a whole new live setup for me. I've been using one setup for the last 2 years and I like it, but I want to change it all. So in this episode, I'm going to start by selecting the gear and specifically selecting the synthesizers that I want to use and how I'm going to use them, and also if I'm going to actually bring them to the setup or maybe just sample them. Yeah, those are questions there. I've got plenty of synthesizers, and I think what's most important for me is that I find inspiration in the machines, whether it's the sound, whether it's the way you work with them, or whether it's something else that inspires some inspiration. Like the sounds can be sampled and brought to another sample machine, but the workflow can't be sampled. So if there is a particular workflow that I really like, maybe I should bring that machine. So I'm going to take a look at many of the machines now and see, have a little peek into the workflow of each machine and see what I like about them. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Structure. I'm terrible with structure, really, but I need it. I need it for this. I want to create a live show that I like myself and that I hope can represent me as an artist and as a person. There's going to be a lot of questions that I need to ask myself here. First, I want to travel lightly. I'm going to type that down here. Lightly, yeah. So that kind of dictates a little bit that I don't want to bring along too many big things, okay? I've avoided asking myself how I want to limit myself. I'm going to type that down as well. Limits. The moment you limit yourself, I think it's going to be easier. Like, I prepared a whole gig on the beta unit of the Opus Z for a show at Super Booth, and once I knew that I was just going to use this, nothing else, it got really easy. It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Yeah, that means that I'm actually composing music for this device only. It really accelerated my work to decide on some limits. So I'm not going to limit myself today. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff, but I'm definitely open to say that, hey, I'm just going to make music on this device and it's going to be cool. Let's make the most out of it. I like that kind of stuff. Okay, so limits, important. One thing with beats that I feel is important, especially when you're playing alone, is how do you keep the beats alive? It's very easy to program something and then just leave it at playback, but the moment you lift your fingers away from the beat machine and just let it loop, it becomes a bit stale. So how do I deal with the beat in a way that it's gonna feel alive even when I lift my hands off of the beats? Like, I was performing together with Dataline at some point. He was taking care of the beats, I was taking care of the harmonics and tonality, and it was such a relief to have someone play the beats really well, and I didn't have to worry about it. I could trust him completely, and I just took care of the other things. If you have a partner, join forces. But in this case, I'm going to play alone, so beats is really important to not just let it run in a loop, and so that it becomes stale. Another thing I've been thinking about, I want to highlight here, is the form of the concert. My form is in the pop genre. To be honest, it's got like a straight up intro, sort of middle with some verse and reoccurring choruses, and a bridge, maybe a solo and an end. That's like a very pop oriented way of making music. A lot of people using these electronic devices, they performing some sort of electronica subgenre, like where pop is like a song, and electronica is like a whole living organism. I'd like to try and sort of marry these a little bit here. And I also would like to create like shorter snippets, like to have like a really crazy groove for a while and then come into something totally different, and try to create a whole show with lots of doorways opened to different fun musical places. So the form and the progression is something that I feel like it's going to be a lot of work, actually. So I'm going to make it in a cool color here. And this is really tightly tied to composition. Some I'm going to base on some sketches that I already have, but I'm going to try to redefine them to fit a unified universe. And I think keyboard, it's really about the music. If the music needs a keyboard, then I'll have to bring a keyboard. These two, the form and progression, the composition, these two are gonna sort of lead the way, I think. Like if the way I'm going suggests that I need a modular, then I need to bring a modular. But a modular sort of breaks the first one to travel like this, so we'll see about that. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. Okay, number one. Okay, so first off, the Analog 4. This is a great machine. This is Mark 2. The Mark 1 looks like this. A huge difference in aesthetics, but also lots of improvements overall. This is perhaps easier to pack because of the boxy appearance, but all of the new things here outweighs that, I'd say. So this is probably the way to go if you're gonna bring an Analog 4 on tour. So what do I like with this? Let's say we go to new pattern. Yeah, let's dial in the kick drum track 1. Let's go here and take this. Then we got a kick drum. Let's make a snare drum like that. Okay, so let's do a little bass. Okay, I'm gonna make it longer, like that, and make a little track. So, 2, 3, and. I'm gonna quantize that. I like this because I think it sounds really great, and I like the improved sound engine on the Mark II. I think it's much fuller and much more tactile, if I could say that. Yeah, I'm gonna write something here. So, Analog 4. The sequencer is top. I know it. I like the sound. The sound is great. For improvising like this, I'm fast with it. Fast. It lacks a keyboard. Minus keyboard. If I were to use it like extensively for playing the keyboard, I think I'd bring a key step or something. Another thing is that it's so versatile. You can do pads, you can do bass, you can do snappy, sharp things, you can do like epic, soft, nice thing. You can do drums, as you just heard. Yeah, it's very versatile. It's good. Okay, so next up, let's pick this. Yeah, it's in the frame. Turn it on. Connect it like that. I can tell you, this is Cool Volca FM. It's a really fun, small form factor FM synth with the same sound architecture as the legendary Yamaha DX7. The architecture is the same in the sound engine. It doesn't sound the same. It sounds nothing like the DX7, to be honest. But it sounds similar. I've got different sounds. It's actually quite massive. It sounds pretty good, actually. Very massive in the bass. I'm gonna take some notes here as well. This is the Korg Volca FM. So yeah, I kind of like it. It's 3 poly, and there is a sequencer. The sequencer, I'm gonna give the sequencer a minus. It's very limited. It's cool, but it's limited, and I don't see myself preparing a lot of stuff on this tiny sequencer here. It could be like for a section of the concert, for a section like one song or maybe 2, or for some kind of freestyle. But you could do some pretty cool things with the sequencer. Yeah, how about this? Yeah. The keyboard, or the lack thereof. There is no way you can play this keyboard if you're standing up and performing. I'm gonna give the keyboard a minus. It sounds cool. The sound is cool. I like the sound of it. It's light and portable. There's no way to really prepare a lot of things here. You can prepare like little snippets, and you can have fun with it, and you could do cool things. I'm sure there are people who are doing excellent work with just this. However, speaking of FM synths, there is an Electron synth 2. Looks like this. This is called the Digatone. This is also an FM synth. So I'm not going to compare them. It would be stupid, but look at them. Actually, the Digatone is not much larger. It's like the footprint is about this, like Korg Volca FM and OPZ. So the footprint of something that is much deeper in terms of the sequencer, and there's the MIDI sequencer and much more polyphony in a form factor. There's actually not much larger. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's fire this up and see what it sounds like. Okay, turn this up. Okay, the Digatone has a really, it's an Electron device. If you've seen one of them, it's easy to understand the others, and it's easy to also appreciate the depth of the parameter locking and the sequencers and all that. Yeah. So what does it sound like? One thing that I like to do is to rig all the sounds with sort of joystick aftertouch expression, like pitch bend expressions and mod wheel expressions and stuff like that, to make it an instrument that you want to play with a keyboard. So in order to make the most out of this as a keyboard instrument, I need to bring a keyboard as well. I think the sound quality is really high, and Electron They didn't go for a nostalgic 3 FM engine here. They made something fresh and clear and clean and alias free, and they don't want to flirt with the nostalgists out there, but yeah, so they created this, and the engine as well is a bit different from most of the standard engines out there. So I really appreciate that they took a sort of a fresh stance here. With Electron's renowned parameter locking system, you can access any of the sounds that are in the memory pool and create new sounds per trig very easily. So you can easily make drums and percussive instruments and switch between them on one track. Like here, there is a really rich factory preset collection of factory presets here, and many of them are really useful. This has a MIDI sequencer as well, 4 tracks of MIDI. So if you're going to bring external MIDI devices, like, I don't know, perhaps a sample player or a different synth, you can sequence that from this. We've got the Digiton. I like the sound. I wouldn't call it portable, but size is good. Size is good. On an FM synth, it's not, you can't take for granted that you got filters, but on this you got some really nice filters as well. So you can create warmer sounds and like fatter sounds than you typically would with an FM synth. FM typically gets a little glossy and shiny and clear, crystal-like qualities, but with the filter here you can kind of tame that down and make it a bit rounded off. So yeah, and there is something inside of me that says, how many synths do you really want to bring to a gig? Do you need a lot of them or just one? And I'm gonna try to find one synth inside of me that's like, don't bring 2 or 3 or 4 synths, bring one at the most. So I'm trying to put them up against each other. So in this case, the Analog 4 versus the Digiton, it's impossible to, you know, they're so different. It's just stupid to do this, to pitch them against each other. But regardless, I'm doing that. It's smaller, this is warmer and perhaps easier to get to the different kind of functionality. The performance knobs is really cool here. No performance knobs here. MIDI sequencing, yeah, there's a lot of, it's really good. Okay, how about this? The Novation Circuit. Yeah, there's a good one too. It's gonna receive a huge update soon, 1.7, and it's gonna change a lot of how you can use it. So, battery powered, as you can see, that's really cool. Surprisingly cheap for what you can do with it. So let's see where we're going. I'm just gonna play a few examples here of some patterns that I have. Super cool. Super cool. Now listen to that bass. Yeah, how about this? Okay, I'm gonna judge, you know, you're gonna judge. Okay, so the Novation circuit, I'm spelling it wrong, circuit sound. When I decide to get a new synthesizer or a new machine, first of all, I need to know that it sounds good. Otherwise, I don't care much about it. So the sound is probably going to be good on most of the stuff here, because that's how I select my gear. But with this one, I took a chance. I wasn't sure about the sounds because I thought the factory presets were a bit, yeah, they left a little bit to be desired. But now, after crafting my own sounds and it quickly becomes a lot of fun. It sounds good. It sounds good, doesn't it? What I want to do with this gig is I want to be able to change instantaneously between different songs. I could do it with this, but if I'm going to have to do it on 2 machines simultaneously, I need to practice a lot on that. But what I could do is to have some songs run only on the circuit and some other songs run only on another device. Well, it's good. It's a good one. Do I want it on stage? Maybe. I think the hands-on, yeah, that's another positive thing. It's big enough to be hands-on friendly, so I'm gonna put that. Now I'm gonna take this old this little friend here. Well, the OP1 is really nice because it's small, and when I'm running it standalone, I know it really well. And it's a lot of fun to use. Okay, I could do stuff like this. Okay, like this. So, and then I could record it and do this. Okay, let's make a little sequence. Okay, let's make some chords. Yeah, there's no denying. This is one of my absolute timeless favorite pieces. I'm gonna have to bring it regardless of if I'm gonna use it or not. For like a one-off improv session where I do stuff like this and quickly create like a really interesting little piece, it's gold. There is a smile factor here. There is a smile. I can't deny it. Yeah. OP1. Where's the where? OP1. This is how structured I am. Smile factor. Yeah, 2 pluses there. The OP1 thrives when I handle it alone. Whenever I use it as sort of an additional synth to something else, the glory of the OP1 is lost a little bit, I think, in my opinion. But when I'm using it solo, you know, I can suddenly decide. And doing that together with a sequencer might be a bit stretching it, but yeah. And also stuff like that, like breaking up the rules, breaking up the rhythm. And I've heard some excellent people, especially on Instagram, like Mason Self. Huge fan of Mason Self. Checking out on Instagram. He's making all these really cool cool jams with the OP1 and drums, and it doesn't always have to be in sync, but the way you can use it is, yeah. So I'm gonna say like solo freestyle, yeah, and it's very small. Okay, so what else I've got? You might have spotted there's something up here currently acting as a microphone stand. How disgraceful. So yeah, the Cenurion by Yamaha was designed by Toshio Iwai and Yamaha, 2007. This is a while ago. So this is a really cool synth, and moreover a really cool sequencer. When it works like this is the sequencer, as I'm sure you can guess, and these are function buttons. So I could select the different layers, like layer 1 sound. I think there are 128 different sounds here, and if it's running I can place the notes like this. So I could do like this, like that. Okay, yeah, it's a nice start. Layer 2, and the drums, they're here somewhere. This kit, yeah, this is kit. Okay. Ooh. Okay, it's clipping. I'm gonna turn down the volume on that one. Okay, now there's a really cool thing with the sequencer here, and this is really cool to use live. You can hold it like this, and even on the back side, on this model, there's lights, so you can hold it and not look like a total nerd, because on the back side people see what you're doing. And then there are, this is straight up step sequencing, but in some layers you can go to some other modes. This mode is called score, and on this layer I'm gonna use something called random, which is really cool. So okay, look at this now. You can see that I just drew a little. I can make these tones up here instead if I want to. And I can start rotating it like this. And to make even more variations. This is really cool. This is super cool, but since you can't access the synth engine, it's sort of Cenurion, cool sequencer, fun, yeah. The sound doesn't really hold stage, cool. How about this? Yeah, the mono machine. I'm not really that fluent with it. I haven't spent that much time on it, but it definitely has its own flavor. So how about, I'm just gonna listen. As you can hear, whenever you listen to stuff that I've made on different synths, you can quickly hear that I'm making everything on one synth, and that's kind of the way that I like to work. I don't want to use like one little synth for one thing and then another and connect them and stuff. I enjoy making the most out of one device. Like. really cool. I remember now that one thing that I really enjoyed with the mono machine was that I felt it was easy to mix it, because there's so many ways you can filter stuff, and there's an EQ, and there is a different. Yeah, it was actually a surprise for me that there were so many parameters related to mixing. So the thing that I'm doing now is playing different random, patterns that I made years ago, actually. And one of the things that I want to do, I've been wanting to do it for a very long time, actually, is to, on stage, be in a situation where I don't have like 10 songs, but maybe 40 songs, and to be able to jump between moods really fast in a like fluid manner, so that I could jump from one kind of feeling and then bring it up a notch and go bonkers, and then feel it out and decide right there and then that, okay, now is a good time to go to that other mood. Yeah, so the mono machine, I smiled, didn't I? I smiled. Why did I smile? You know what? I smiled because the music I made on this device is related to the music that I want to make for this new gig. I want to make enjoyable little gems that can stand on their own. I can take them further, but also break them apart, and then decide when I want to change and go to another place. And these songs, it's like super chill. Yeah, that's why I smiled, actually. This holds a little key for me. It's very good that I brought it up here. Songs. What we call it something, don't we? We called it form and progression. This was a good reminder of the form and progression. Very nice handwriting. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you, Mono Machine, for reminding me. I smile again, even though I know what's coming. Now, this is stuff that I want to make. I could go through all of my synths, but I think I'm just going to do one more. The Opus Z. This is a early beta version. Why do I like it? Well, I'll tell you why. It's just going to be a teaser. I'm going to make like a proper tutorial once I get the full unit and everything. Let's zoom in a bit. Turn it on. I'm just going to play a snippet of some stuff that is already in here. Let's see. Something you might recognize. Tape to make some. It's coming from this little device here. And now I've made a chain. It's playing by itself. Yeah, it's tiny. It's gonna be huge. So we've got a bunch of tracks. We've got drums, samples, we've got synths, and we've got some effects and tape and some stuff. So quickly, let's select a kick. I'm gonna pick my own kick drum. How about that one? Boom, boom. Okay, that's gonna be my kick. I'm gonna make a snare. I'm gonna pick my own. Make it shorter. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bass. Check out the different basses. Another engine. Another engine. Okay, so rec and play. It's gonna be listening to me now. Okay, I'm gonna go to the chords here. The workflow is it really suits me. It's like Teenage Engineer made like a synth for me. I feel like, yeah. I'm gonna use this a lot. Now I've been trying out a lot of synthesizers, and yeah, let's, for the record, make a little thing here as well. So, yeah, OPZ. It's really jam friendly. Jam. I like the synth engines. You can have up to 10 different plugs per track. So a plug is like a synth engine or a drum sample pack. So right now on this, we've got lots of opportunities here. Yeah, it's really nice. I'm gonna make a proper tutorial once it's finalized and the proper final hardware ships, and maybe ahead of the actual launch. I hope I can make something for that. But this is just a little hint of why I like it so much. You could see like I really enjoyed it. Jam friendly, it's portable. Also, when I performed in Berlin with it, there was like, it's so light and it's so grab friendly, so you kind of end up not knowing how to hold it. If you play the keys, you want it to lie flat. If you're going to use the mic, you turn it up like this and the mic is now active. Hello. And you can make effects like that. And if you're gonna wiggle some parameters, maybe you hold it like this, and it's really, it wants to be caressed. I don't know. As I told you before, I'm really bad at structure. Yet I need structure. I don't have it. So when I look at this now, the OPZ, yeah, definitely. OP1, I think it's a definite yes as well. What I've been doing wrong when I bring the OP1 is to not prepare as much because I feel like, yeah, I know it, I could just wiggle it. But no, I should prepare properly, should know exactly what I want to do with OP1, and then just doing it really well. All of these, they have their strengths, and all of them are good in some respects. Like if I want like a really good bass, perhaps I'd use the Analog 4. Perhaps for a lot of sounds, actually, the Analog 4. The Volca FM is pretty cool, but I think it's not like I totally need it. The Tenorion, I think I'm not gonna sample it, and I'm not gonna use it. Yeah, the Analog 4, I can make a whole gig with just Analog 4, but I want to do it on the Digitakt. I'm gonna sample this. Yeah, sample it. Blue. Korg Volca FM. Sorry, I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna sample it. Digatone. It has some sounds. I'm not gonna use it. I could use it. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna sample it. And the Circuit, I think it wouldn't make any sense to sample it. It would make sense to use it as it is. Yeah, there's some sounds there, and the way it handles the sounds, I really like it. So how about Pink as a maybe? The Mono Machine, I learned something from the Mono Machine. I don't think I'm gonna bring it, but I learned something really important about the form and progression. But I'm not gonna bring it. I'm gonna sample it. No, I don't think so. I think for speech synthesis, I'm gonna use the, if I want to, I'm gonna use the pocket operator. Yeah, so these two for sure. So even though I haven't done anything on it today, I'm gonna write it down here. Digitakt. This. Yeah, I've left out so many things. Like, would I like to use something like this for like a simple solo somewhere? Maybe. This is like magical, mesmerizing. Would I like to use something like this? Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about the way I want to perform. This inspires me, I think. I like what I see here, I like what I see. This could be a setup. I'm all about setting tight limitations and just saying, okay, this is what you're going to use, go for it. But I think in the next round, I'm going to take a look at other samplers, the Octatrack, analog rhythm and stuff. I think a lot of stuff will serve as sample materials, stuff that I want to sample. And then probably I'm going to put the computer in there as well, because the computer will serve as a pre-production machine. I'm going to record stuff with a high quality audio interface. I'm using can you see this? Yeah, I'm using the Audio Fuse now. I find it records really clear audio, which I'm very happy with. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Lots of inspiration and opportunities as synthesizers. I think for me, it's not rational at all. I don't think rationally about this. It's more like inspiration and impulses. And when I see workflow that I really like, It's something I want to do. I'm not afraid of setting really tight limits and saying, okay, this is the setup. Let's compose for this. I'm not afraid of cutting away like opportunities. Like, what if you want to play a whole sampled backing track? Well, you can't because you don't have that machine. Okay, fine. Compose it in a different way. Yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of favoring the small synthesizers here, like the OPZ, OP1, and the Digitact. And it's like a very small package. It really inspires me to have something really neat to put down on a table and to perform a little show with this. I've done it before with the Octatrack and the OP1. It's like a really neat little setup, and to just max them out completely and do everything I can with just that. Yeah, that's inspiring for me. Cool. So in the next episode, I think I'm gonna take a look at some beat machines like the Analog Rhythm and some of the pocket operators, and also the Octatracks to see how I've structured thing before in Octatrack and see maybe if I want to use it in a different way this time around. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, yeah, stay tuned for that. In the meanwhile, if you like what I do here on YouTube and if you want to support me, there's a way to do that through Patreon. Patreon is a really great platform for creators, a way to support creators. It's working out really well. So thank you everyone who supports me at Patreon. It makes a huge difference for me. And also, if you just want to buy my sample packs and stuff here and there, yeah, you can do that on my web store as well, store.truecuckoo.com. And yeah, I guess this is it for this time. And see you in the next episode. It's like the first time I could say something like that. See you in the next episode, because this is serious. Cool. Yeah, see you in the next episode. It's going to be about Octatrack and beat makers. How about that? Okay, see you.